Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fantasy football is almost here. Nameco here, CEO, president, what other made up things he gave himself. Dustin Barkley over there that we all respect, El Presidente. Not to steal from Barstool, though.
Gotta throw those titles in there.
Gotta throw them in.
2019 football season will be here before we know it. If you want to help us out heading into the season, get onto FanDuel's Sportsbook. They have 10 states now that have it. Nevada, Delaware, New Jersey, Mississippi, West Virginia, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Arkansas, New York, and more states are coming. Click on the link in the description, the FanDuel link. Sign up, deposit some money, help us out.
Not even to help yourself out. This is awesome. This is legit. I'm a big gambler. It is super fun. It is awesome. So if you're in one of these states, read them off quickly.
I'm not going.
If you're in one of those states, rewind. Go ahead, hit the description, sign up, throw some cash in. I guarantee you're going to have some fun with it. I'll be shooting out some picks every now and then. So either way, it's awesome.
We've been waiting for this for years.
It's so fun.
Finally here. You don't have to go to Vegas anymore or have a bookie. So there you go. Number one tight end, Travis Kelce. Tier of his own, but just barely. Guys behind him aren't too far behind him. But Travis Kelce, with the Hill stuff, with him probably missing, at least probably 4 games as we're shooting right now. It hasn't been announced yet. But Kelce, if he stays healthy, there's no reason to think he will not be the number one tight end again this season. We think he's well worth an early round draft pick. Lock up that tight end one if you want to go that route.
And we were close to a degree putting Ertz in there. That's what Dustin's talking about. Ertz was ridiculous last year. He had 116 catches. If you play in a point per reception league, he is a great tight end to snag. There's no reason to think he's not going to get a huge volume again. He had over 1,100 yards, found the end zone 8 times. Zach Ertz, stud. But the guy that I really like that's going just a little bit later, and that's Mr. Kittle for the San Francisco 49ers. And, the thing about Kittle, he blew up last year, played great, 88 catches, over 1,300 yards. But the thing about him, he did that with not 1, not 2, but 3 different quarterbacks at the helm. Jimmy G will hopefully be healthy all year. Kyle Shanahan loves him in the offense. And one thing that Kittle's really great at is yak. What is yak?
Yards after catch.
Yak! So when you see Kittle, think of yak.
There you go.
He's the yak man.
Tier 2, when we first started ranking tight ends.
Tier 3.
Or Tier 3, sorry. When we first started ranking tight ends, I was like, I really feel like I want to get one of those top tier guys. It drops down real quick. It's actually a little deeper than you think when you really dive into it. First guy I want to talk about is Evan Ingram. We've seen snippets of him of really looking like, okay, this guy could be something, especially, just that real receiving tight end. He's not really your prototypical blocking guy, but he's had a lot of success when Beckham's been out, and obviously now Beckham is gone. They got Tate and Shepard out there. It just really seems like they're going to have to lean more towards Ingram with some targets, and I think he's going to have a solid year. And then another interesting guy that we got at number 7, Jared Cook, with the Saints now. He had an amazing year last year with Oakland, but it's just Saints tight ends. Ever since Jimmy Graham left, it's just been kind of, one swing and miss after another. But Cook is a talented guy. It might, he could definitely be a nice fit for that Saints team, and I think he could be, a decent pick on draft day.
All right, as we move into Tier 4, I'm going to start off with David Njoku of the Cleveland Browns. And it's kind of weird, right? Odell Beckham's there, so then you can be like, all right, well, it's going to really open up the field for him. But Odell Beckham's there, so there's going to be less targets to go around. So he's got all the talent in the world. Well, I am not one of the guys. By the way, speaking of betting, I'm taking the under because I think they're like 9.5 for wins for the Browns. Sorry, Cleveland. I don't think they're winning 9 games this year, but they're going to have a much more improved high-power offense. Still, a lot of mouths to feed. Interesting guy to take in the middle rounds. And then I want to touch on Mr. Ebron. He had a huge year last year. 13 touchdowns.
Pretty good.
Andrew Luck could be the number 1 quarterback this year. That wouldn't be shocking. So you would think the guys that are catching the balls are going to get a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards. However, Mr. Doyle is back. He was banged up last year, and Ingram's not getting 13 again. I can almost guarantee that. It's going to be a regression. Ebron. What did I say?
Said Ingram.
Whatever. Mr. Ebron, no 13. So that's why we got him ranked here.
Tier 5, Vance McDonald. This is a guy a lot of people really started to fall in love with coming into last year. And it wasn't a terrible year. 50 catches, 610 yards. 4 touchdowns. But Antonio Brown's gone, so it's just kind of the same deal with Ingram. You know, you just got to feel like they're going to have to get other people involved, and it just seems like McDonald's, you know, targets are probably going to go up, but we're still not expecting him to set the world on fire. And then the 2 old men, Olsen and Graham, you know, if they can stay healthy, you know, we think they can still very much be serviceable tight ends. But at this point in their careers, it's hard to get too excited about them, and you can't really rank them much higher than this. But not bad guys to grab late if you missed out on the top guys.
Dustin, who's our first guy in tier 6?
Mr. Rob Gronkowski.
Are you an idiot? He retired. But yes, we know he's quote-unquote retired. Now, this is what we're saying with Gronk. Something sneaky to do is if you're drafting early, instead of taking your kicker with your last pick, just take Gronk and see what happens. There is a really tiny chance he comes back, unretires for the start of the year. The buzz is like with 4 or 5 games left, that's when he might come back, if at all. But regardless, if there's even a 5% chance he comes back before the start of the season for some odd reason, if you take him instead of your kicker, you're doing great. If he doesn't, you cut him before the first game and you pick up your kicker. The other guy I want to touch on is Jordan Reed. Why is Jordan Reed so low? Because he's hurt all the time. He played 13 games last year, 6 before that, 12 before that. Either way, he's a banged up kind of guy. I don't have high hopes for Jordan Reed.
Still some interesting talent in Tier 7. We're in Tier 7 though, so you're not getting too excited about these guys. But Mark Andrews, interesting tight end for Baltimore. Solid rookie season for him last year. 34 catches, 552 yards, 3 touchdowns. But with that offense, it's going to be very run heavy. So it's just kind of hard to think that there's going to be a ton of balls to go around for Andrews. But we do think he's got some upside in the late rounds. And then Dallas Goedert. I mean, in terms of just a tight end that might be worth handcuffing with,
so weird.
Ertz. It is weird, but you know, if Ertz goes down, Dallas could easily be top 5 tight
If you
end.
have a deep bench, I am cool with that handcuff.
I mean, it's just a guy that you grab super late that has upside, just like you're doing with running backs and other positions. You know, it's hard to draft 2 tight ends a lot of times, but Dallas does have that kind of upside. So deeper leagues, we don't hate the move. So that's your tight ends for 2019. Check
Mr.
out all
Betoff
the
thinks
other
that
stuff.
Goddard's going to be... Oh, that was the worst throw.
It's pretty terrible.
Terrible start.
Check out all the other stuff. Sign up for FanDuel.
Gambling's fun.
Gambling is fun.